I can't stand Big Brother. I think I only watched one episode. One guilty pleasure of mine was watching Jersey Shore. And I will say that show is awful. It is fucking horrible. And if you have like any small shred of hope in humanity or mankind, that show will ruin it for you. The nice thing about Jersey Shore is no matter how bad your life is or how shitty your day was, if you watch an episode of Jersey Shore, you will feel so much better about yourself, your life, your ambitions, and pretty much everything. It's that bad. It's that bad. It's absolutely terrible. Okay, so let us begin with story time. Oh man, I've had one of those weeks that just kind of. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like completely sucked. I mean, obviously, there's just been some really annoying and frustrating things that have happened in the week that have just been completely ridiculous. So. I'm going to start with what happened yesterday, and then we'll talk about what happened last week and why I think that was crazy, and we'll just kind of go on from there. So, yesterday, for those of you guys who don't follow me on Twitter, was Let's Play Thursday. Now, on Let's Play Thursday, we usually play Let's Play games. You know, we play something like Elite or something that's not Minecraft. That's the point usually. Well, we had a light socket burn out in our house about 2 weeks ago. Not a light socket, a wall socket. So the wall socket, it's where you plug things in the wall for energy. Well, at the same time that burned out, our garbage disposal stopped working. So we assumed that the problem with the garbage disposal was the light socket. And as they always say, assumptions make an ass out of you and me. So we were wrong. There was nothing wrong with the garbage disposal. Garbage disposals have a reset button on them. If we had just hit the reset button, we would have been fine. But unfortunately, we didn't think about that. So there we go. There's the conduits. So anyways, we have a homeowner's insurance on our house. The homeowner's insurance on our house allows us to get repairs on certain things for a slightly less cost, if that makes sense. So instead of having to pay a ridiculous amount of money, we just had to pay $75 to have it got taken care of. One sec, guys. I do have to do a TPOS to a location, so hang on one sec. Okay. So /TPOS. One sec. And we'll go back to story time. 65. There we go. Please tell me that got me over there. Yep, perfect. Alright, we're back. Okay, and we are we are now below the planet. This is the planet above us that we are wanting to mine up there. Alright, so anyways, so because of this setup that we have, we only have to pay $75 for most repairs. So we thought we had an electrical problem. So, because our house is like 27 years old. So me and JJ just figured something was wrong with the house and we just needed to get it sorted. So no big deal. So we call the insurance company. They refer us to an electrician. We get a hold of the electrician, and the electrician comes out and he starts, he goes into the kitchen, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to be in the office. If you need me, just let me know. And so I went back in here to do some recordings and such. And while I was doing that, he's in there banging around. Well, it's been like 20 minutes. So I come in and I'm like, is everything all right? And he's like, oh, dude, man. He's like, I don't know, man. I think you guys got snakes. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? He's like, well, I mean, like, there's eggs in your walls, man. And I'm like, wait, what? What do you mean there's fucking eggs in my walls? He's like, well, that's what I mean, dude. You got like, I mean, I'm an electrician. I don't know, but I think those are snake eggs. Well, I'm not afraid of snakes. Like, my dad is petrified of snakes. Like, he will flat out run screaming like a girl if snakes are involved. Me, I don't have a problem with snakes. Now, arachnids, fuck yeah. Spiders, I will run and I will be like just crapping myself. No, King Creeper. Oh my god. Anyways, so just flipping out. So I'm freaking out because this guy pulled out like 100 snake eggs out of my wall socket, and that's like a lot. And I'm kind of freaking out. I'm kind of freaking out over this because snakes can be poisonous. They can be a problem, and you know, this could be a big deal. You know, this could be a real issue. So, you know, he gets the light fixed, and unfortunately, the garbage disposal still doesn't work. And I'm like, damn it. So, you know, I then call the company back. I've already paid $75. I'm like, we need our garbage disposal. If you've ever tried living without a garbage disposal, it doesn't really work all that well because, you know, you pretty much can't clean anything. So, you know, you're going to get all sorts of clogs in your pipes, and it just, you know. So we had like a pile of dishes that were starting to get a little scary if we couldn't get them clean. So I called the plumbers, and the plumbers are going to come out, and you know that's going to be another $75 fee, and then they're going to replace the thing, and that could get real expensive, and I'm not really liking that. And then I have to call the exterminator, and then the exterminator is going to come out, and you know, I'm just like, God dang it. Well, I go in, and you know, while I'm on the phone with the plumber, it's like, well, if you're having us come out and look at your garbage disposal, one thing we'd like to recommend is you go and look for the reset button. He's like, because 90% of the time, you just need to press the reset button and you're good to go. And I'm like, I looked, I didn't see a reset button. I'm like, all right, I'll go look again. You know, $75, that's enough money, you know? I mean, at that point, it's like, it's kind of worth it for me to go and look and make sure that everything's cool. So I go back and I take another look, and sure enough, there's a reset button. I pop it and it just slaps on. I'm like, damn it. So then, you know, I have to call and get that all sorted out and get that, you know, canceled so that they don't charge me for that shit. Oh, damn it. I'm missing a drive. Fuck. And then, you know, I cancel with the insurance company, and apparently whoever I canceled with didn't actually cancel it. And so I had to go back and call the plumber this morning at 7 o'clock in the morning when he calls me, tell him not to come out. And then the insurance company calls and tries to schedule the appointment. And then the plumber starts calling JJ to try and schedule it. And it's like, guys, we no longer need your fucking service. Stop calling us. It was kind of a big pain in the ass. But yeah, so let me show you guys the eggs that are in my walls real quick before we continue on. Let me get these pulled up. These are what's in my wall, or in my walls. Now, these are very small. These are like 1/8 of an inch, maybe, if that. I mean, these are tiny, very tiny. Here's what he pulled out of the wall socket, right there. So you know, it's kind of scary, but at the same time, you know, as long as they're not poisonous, I don't really care. As long as they're not going to hurt me, and as long as they're not flying around my house, I guess it's really not that big a deal. Still, it's a little creepy. So finally, the exterminator guy gets out here, and he takes a look, and he's like, well, I mean, you know, we can't really spray for snakes or anything. He's like, I mean, if you want, I can like trap them, you know, if they're still there. He's like, but just so you know, these are old. I mean, they're hatched. Whatever was in there is long gone. It's out and about doing whatever it's doing. You know, it's not in there anymore. He's like, and on top of that, you know, in all honesty, snakes kind of keep a lot of other pests away. He's like, now these are small snakes, so they're going to be like garden snakes. So you don't really have anything to worry about, you know, poison-wise or anything along those lines. He's like, but, you know, he's like, if I were you, I wouldn't worry about it. I'm like, all right, fair enough. He's like, but if you like, we can go ahead and spray for bugs and blah, 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 you know, and tries to upsell me on that. I'm like, nah, dude, if I don't need to get rid of these things, then I'm going to save my money because we don't have a bug problem. So basically my whole day was wasted yesterday because I was too stupid to notice that there was a red dot on my garbage disposal that I could have just pushed a button for and would have fixed. And then I had a small panic attack when I thought I had fucking snakes on my walls, when in all honesty we probably don't. Anything that was in there was probably for the previous owner and has been since eradicated or is gone. And yeah, so I got to pay $150 to push a red button myself and to get the shit scared out of me. It was kind of a pain in the ass. Kind of a pain in the ass. But I will say, You know, when something that looks like a prop from the movie Aliens comes crawling out of your wall, you know, that's enough to kind of get you freaked out a little bit. Just a bit. Even if you're not afraid of snakes. I mean, just the fact that there could be something slithering, and I use that word specifically, slithering inside your fucking walls is enough to freak most people out, in my opinion. So, ugh. Oh yeah, it was a pain in the ass. So, you know, he finally left at 6:30. You know, and that's the other thing, is like every single what do you call it? Every single one of those appointments never has like a time. It's like, oh yeah, we'll be there at 6. It's always, we're going to be there from the, you know, these 24 hours, you know, and we'll be there within these periods. So you need to be there to watch us. And I always hate that. It's like, why can't you schedule it to something like maybe a half-hour period or a 45-minute period? Why has it always got to be like within the hours of noon and 6 p.m.? Because like my whole day was ruined. Like I couldn't really do anything. Because if, you know, I start recording and they start ringing the doorbell, you know, then I got to stop the recording and go do it. I can't stream because as soon as I get started streaming, they're going to show up. You know, I can't play something like Counter-Strike Go, what do you call it, ranked, because that takes an hour. And if the guy shows up and I got to show him around the house, you know, I'm just like, ah. So like I got to do nothing yesterday for like a million hours. It sucked. It completely and utterly sucked. Oh, and then after that, I forgot the icing on the cake or the cherry on top or whatever. I get, what was it? I get you know, finally done with my day. I'm eating, I'm relaxing. I finally get to play some CS:GO. I'm trying to just chill. Had a couple beers, just trying to relax, you know, unwind a little bit. And I check my email right before I go to bed. It's like midnight. And I have 5 chargebacks from last month. Well, not last month. One of them was from KFC for $300, which is funny because KFC donated $650. And usually, if somebody's going to do a chargeback, they do a chargeback for everything. They don't do a chargeback for a little bit. They do a chargeback for it all. So I thought that was a little weird. I figured he'd do the chargeback for the rest of the stuff later, but after talking to, or not after talking to him, but after he showed up today, it looks like it may have been a mistake. So, which is I'm hoping for, because I would really like to not have to deal with that. That would make my life a lot easier, and wouldn't put me in a financial bind for the month. But we'll see how that goes. And Yote Slayer, one of my former mods, charged back $75, I think it was, from July when he donated. So his donations were to knock Emmy off the top donor, if I remember. So that's why he I have no idea why he did a chargeback. So I sent him a message. So we'll see. Which is also kind of funny considering how much stuff he's donated over the, you know, I mean, he used to play on our Minecraft server. So both of those just kind of was weird and shocking. So I have no idea. So depending on how much that goes out, that's I think it's about $375. I thought it was going to be about $700 because I thought KFC was going to do chargebacks for the rest of his stuff, but it appears he hasn't. And according to what he said today, he may not have been responsible for the chargebacks at all. Period. And if that's the case, that would make my life a lot easier. So I'm hoping. Either way, I had almost $400 yanked out of my account last night for the day after I paid my bills. So my funds are a little low. Will Yotes be banned since most people get banned for doing their chargebacks? Yes, he's already been banned. He is currently banned from all services. Once he, assuming he comes back and fixes the chargebacks, then he will be unbanned. But for right now, yes, he is permanently banned from all services. So that includes the stream, that includes World War Minecraft, that's fucking everything. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Okay, so we now have everything hooked up, right? We've got all of the mining lasers going. We've got pretty much everything set and rocking. And if we come over here to our setup here, you can see we don't have much in here really. We have absolutely no ores other than this quicklime. I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of this stuff in here just to store it. Actually, I will keep these on me in case we suffocate. But I will put the rest of this stuff up. And we're going to fire this up and see if it works. And hopefully it does. Because if it does, we'll do pretty good. Pretty good. Alright. So we want to do mine. I'm just going to do false. 1, 2, 3. Okay. We have 8 lasers rolling now. And there was something right below us, so I'm going to go ahead and let him just go all the way down. And we'll just kind of watch and see. Does look like the one laser has found the nether ore that was right below us that I wanted to get. I was specifically looking for this iridium here. We really need that. I don't think he was saying you can't be on stream 24/7. I think he was saying you can't stream 24/7. You technically could, but you'd need like a team of people, you know, because unless you're a cyborg, you do have to sleep. Everybody's got to sleep. Can I give you some advice on getting minions? What do you mean? You mean like subscribers and things like that? Or do you mean like... I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm literally confused by your statement. Your statement does not make sense to me. Does not compute. Yes, Lego Master, this is my ship right here. I'm going to go ahead and turn the sound off so we don't get driven crazy by the lasers. And we'll kind of wait and see if we're still... We'll just kind of keep doing its thing. Steam, Pyro, not stream? Yes, you can be... Oh, Steam. Yeah, you can be on Steam 24/7. I'm on Steam a lot, but that's one of the problems with what I do is a lot of times people will see me on and think I'm doing stuff and I'm able to play when sometimes I'm working or sometimes I'm AFK or whatnot. So... Weird things do happen. Weird things do happen. Okay, so for the ladies in the audience, and I guess some of the more stable guys, I need a little bit of some help here because I think that I found a crazy person. Okay, I think that I've found somebody who's if maybe not a crazy person, but at least somebody who's just not going to work for me. Okay, so for some of you guys who know, that have been following me for a long time, last October, I want to say, one of my buddies, he met his wife on the website eHarmony. Okay, that's a dating website for those of you guys who aren't aware. He bet me and JJ that if we signed up for the site for a year, that both of us would find a significant other through the website, and if we didn't, then he'd pay for our membership fees. So, and he would be wrong, and we could haze him and call him an idiot, which we believe he is. But anyways, so we signed up for the website, and which is kind of funny because right after I signed up for the website, I met Riley, and then me and her hooked up and, you know, had a relationship for, what? We met in November, but we didn't really start dating officially until March, but we were kind of dating in January, but I guess it depends on who's calling the shots there. So we dated for like 6 months. So I think we broke up in July, first week of July, I think it was. Yeah. So yeah, first week of July. So technically I wasn't really fair to the challenge because I only was on the site for like 4 months out of the year, but anyways. So I got back on the site, you know, after me and Rye broke up and started talking to some people and whatnot, and ended up going on a few dates, and most of them, I mean, the problem with internet dating is you really can't get to know somebody on the internet, and then, I mean, you can, but it's hard, and then there's that, like, there's no connections, and then when you finally meet somebody, then you have like all of that catches up at once, and it either works or it doesn't work, and then it's either really awkward and uncomfortable, or it's really cool, and it's a mess. I am convinced that internet dating is probably the second layer of hell. So anyways, I went on a couple dates. I met a couple people who I enjoyed talking with, but I just couldn't see myself dating, if that makes any sense. Like I met this one girl, awesome, really easy to talk to. I mean, we could talk for like 5-6 hours at a time, no problem. But it just wasn't going to work. It just wasn't going to work, and I feel kind of bad for that, because it pretty much means I'm a shallow piece of shit, but it just wasn't going to work. So I met this new girl, and she was cute. I mean, she wasn't like hot, but she was cute. And we could talk kind of, but she was a little distant. And it's like, all right, so we ended up going to meet for coffee. And I always, like, when you're doing internet dating, you don't do anything big on your first date, okay? You like need to meet each other and make sure, because like when you're dating somebody online, you never know what you're going to get. It's kind of like that whole Forrest Gump thing. I mean, you could end up with a serial killer, you could end up with, a supermodel, or you could end up with, God only knows what. So you want to meet somewhere in a public place, sit down, and then talk for a few minutes, and then if one of you needs to run, then you can run, right? So we scheduled to meet this. I meet this girl. I think it was on Wednesday. And so we were going to meet for coffee at Starbucks and, just get to know each other better. And when we set the dates, okay, they're still going. Everything was cool. So we hooked up. I was on my way to Starbucks, and 20 minutes before our date's supposed to happen, she messages me and she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry, but my friend's car broke down and I have to go pick him up, and my other friend's having a baby and they want us to go meet them. So I can't meet tonight." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, whatever," because that's like, internet dating wise, that's like you just got blown off. And I'm like, all right, whatever, screw it, no worries. I hadn't left yet, it wasn't a big deal. I hadn't spent like 45 minutes on the the highway or whatever. It's all good. Well, I didn't expect to hear from her again, right? So the next day she messages me and she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I know you probably think I was blowing you off, but it was legit, it was real. I'm so sorry, and I'd love to meet you again." I'm like, okay, weird, but all right, okay, cool. So we set the new date, and I'm like, if the bitch stands me up again, I swear to God. So we set up, same place, same time, on that Friday, I think it was. So we go and meet, we sit, we talk, and it wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't like, "Oh my God, I can see myself having children with you," or anything like that, but she was okay to talk to. She was attractive. She didn't run screaming when she saw me, which is always a good bonus, and everything seemed to be going good. So we talked for a while, and then Starbucks closed. I mean, we sat, I think we got there at 7, and Starbucks closed at 11 or so. So we talked for like, what is that, 4.5, 5 hours? I mean, that's a good sign. You can talk to somebody you first met for 5.5 hours. Good sign. So went home. Next day I messaged her. I was like, I had a lot of fun last night. It was nice getting to know you, blah, blah, blah. I'd love to meet you again, et cetera, et cetera. And she's like, all right, cool. Me too. I enjoyed it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, cool. Everything's fine. So on Sunday, on Saturday night, I messaged her about something, because me and JJ went and saw a movie, and I messaged her. I was like, man, Expendables was kind of crappy. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't all that good either. And I didn't get a response. I was like, all right, no biggie. So then the next day, she messages me at 6 o'clock in the morning, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I heard it was shitty." And I'm like, "Wow, you're up awful early on a Sunday." And she's like, "Oh no, I must have sent that last night and just didn't have service." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." It's like, "So what are you up to?" No response. So later that day, we had done some moving, some stuff outside of it, and I was like, "Man, it is so hot outside." I was like, "It's ridiculous." No response. I'm like, okay. So then Monday, no response. Or she didn't message me, and I'm not messaging her again. I mean, I already messaged her twice. Wednesday, no response. Thursday, nothing. Friday, nothing. Friday night at like 10:30 at night, she messages me, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, wait, what? She's like, "How's it going?" I'm like, "It's going good." She's like, "How was your week?" I'm like, "It was good. How was yours?" I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? It's like we were talking on Sunday, and then you like don't respond for 5 days, and then you want to talk like everything's fine. So I messaged her. I'm like, all right, so I'm honest. I come right out and say shit. I just want to know. I was like, what the hell? I was like, I mean, you know, if you're blowing me off, no big deal. That's fine. You go your way, I go my way. I was like, but, you know, you didn't respond for 5 days. And she's like, oh, well, that's just how I am. She's like, sometimes I'll have friends I don't talk to like 2 or 3 weeks at a time. She's like, I just don't like feeling like I have to talk to somebody. She's like, so, you know, if that's going to be something that's going to bug you, then just let me know and, you know, I won't waste your time. I was like, well, is that how you are in like a committed relationship? She's like, oh, no, I talk more then. I'm like, okay. So on my end, I'm like, if you're on a dating site, you're wanting to get to know somebody, you're wanting to find out if there's a click or something like that, you got to talk to them. You got to talk to them on a regular basis. You guys got to get to know each other. Plus, it's almost impossible to schedule a date if, like, you only talk once a week. It's just weird. So I asked a couple friends, and like, is she married? As far as I know, she's not. So I asked a couple friends, and like my friends are divided half and half. So like half of my friends are like, dude, she's one of those ladies that just is very unclingy and just completely free-spirited, and she's probably not going to be a good fit for you. The other group of my friends is like, dude, she's perfectly normal, you're fucking crazy, and you're too clingy. So it's like, you know, you just need to learn to deal with how girls really are. So that's my question to you guys is, am I crazy for wanting something a little bit more than that? You know, because like we talked last weekend and I was like, hey, I'd like to go out on a date again with you. And she's like, oh yeah, that'd be great. She's like, you know, I'm at my parents' house this weekend. I'm like, all right, well, when you get back from your parents' house, which was on Monday, I was like, you know, let me know and tell me what your schedule is and we'll schedule a date. And she's like, okay, we're on Friday and I haven't heard back from her, you know? So I'm just thinking she might just be a little too casual for me. Just a little too casual. But I would like to know what some of you guys think. You know, is this one of those things where I'm just being a little too crazy and a little too needy? Or is this definitely not normal? Okay. It seems like most of you are kind of agreeing with me. Don't listen to Scott. Oh my God. No, it's crazy to not talk for 5 days. Thank you, HD Demo Man. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Well, I know you told me that. I mean, you usually give me good advice. It's just JJ told me I was being stupid and clingy. Emmy told me I was being stupid and clingy. You told me I was fine. She's crazy. You know, I'm just trying to get.
She was crazy. I just mentioned that if you really are interested in somebody and you want to
Right.
get to know them, you don't wait 5 fucking days.
No. Well, you can't get to know anybody that way. Yeah. I mean, it's like, how are you going to build a relationship that way? It's like, man, you know, a month ago when we went on that first date, that was awesome. Let's do it again. Yeah. When? All right, cool. All right. Well, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks, Unlimited Check-ins. I think I will take dating advice from somebody who's in my same species. Sorry, buddy. Sorry. Oh my God. No, I mean, I will admit I'm a little, what do you call it? I'm a little more clingy than most, I guess I would say. Okay, let me rephrase. I don't think I'm necessarily clingy. I like talking. I like establishing contact. You know, if you're interested in somebody, you got to spend time with them. You know, you got to get invested. I mean, that's what dating's about, right? Is meeting that special somebody, getting invested, and learning about each other. And you can't fucking do that if, okay, wait, how do I do this? You can't fucking do that if the other person's like not on board. And I think what's going on is, honestly, you know, when I talked to her on our first date, she seemed to be kind of like one of those former, like, retired party girls. Like, she seemed to be one of those types that, you know, liked going to the club every weekend and, you know, liked hitting the bars and such like that. And then, like, once she hit 32 or 30, she realized, oh shit, this isn't going to work anymore. You know, it's not cool anymore to go, you know, fucking partying every night. So I think that had a lot to do with it. Maybe. Holy shit. Okay, we hadn't mined anything out of here. I thought we were like almost done with this planet, but good God, y'all, look at this. This is sick. Okay, so we were through the planet on most of them, but a few of them weren't. Tempting, I am our Mr. Wall. But I think I'll probably have to pass on that one, bro. Sorry, man. Sorry. Well, yeah, Rich plays. I mean, it's everybody's got their own different opinions on a bunch of different shit. So I just kind of like getting other people's opinions. You know, this is a nice group of like 200 people, so it's nice to see what she's married, dude. Love it, 5892. Love it. I'm gonna have to give you a high five for that, bro. There you go. High five. 5892. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, so 138.